Well, at Garden Time, we love bringing you new and interesting books. And today I have the author of a book. I have Adrian Bloom from Blooms of Bressingham with his new book. And it's just a great book. It's Bloom's Best Perennials and Grasses. And it is just chock filled of pictures and really good information. And today we're going to be talking about one of the chapters. And it's such an interesting chapter. It's about 12 of Adrian's favorite plants that give the most bang for your buck. Adrian, thanks so much for taking time with us. And if you could kind of talk about what these plants that are in the chapter are about and why you chose them.
Well, initially, let's start why I chose them, I think. The feeling I've had for many years, we've introduced a lot of perennials to England, the United States, to gardeners all over the world. And I've also done quite a lot of planting of gardens, both at Bressingham and over here in different parts of the country. Trying to show how perennials can be used in the average garden, a front garden mostly. And gradually, over a period of time, I've come to sort of assess and use some standbys that I think are very reliable and dependable perennials that will also give you the impact of a seasonal change. And between them, only 12 plants will give you year-round interest and colour. So that's why I felt that for newer gardeners, a lot of newer gardeners go along to garden centres and they can be totally confused by the choice in front of them.
Sure.
And so, you know, less is more in that way, is that firstly, they're plants you know will succeed. They're not new plants, perhaps, that some of them which have not been widely tested, particularly in your region. Secondly, so they're tried and tested plants. Secondly, they do have that effect of being able to combine with each other to give you year-round interest. Half of these are good for shade and half really prefer sun. So really you can mix and match and make those and try and maybe create some ideas of combinations that really give you year-round colour, but a garden that has tremendous impact at the same time.
Right. You know, and I'm so glad that they've done all the work for us. Adrian has done all the research, and so you really can almost have a paint by numbers or a plant by numbers, because you have, and we have some pictures behind us that are so great that kind of show those combinations. So maybe if you can highlight just a few maybe of the ones that from the chapter.
Yeah, certainly. Well, I tend to, it's strange, isn't it? But having chosen 12, I sometimes have a job to remember the 12.
Well, we have
anyway, we can look at these. That's this particular one here with the wonderful sort of marbled leaf is Brunnera. And I don't know all the common names because we tend not to use them. But this starts off in the spring with forget-me-not flowers, which really sparkle in the spring. And are a lovely combination with narcissus and yellow-flowered spring plants. Good for the shade and sort of half sun. But once the flowers are finished, you can cut back the flowers and some of the foliage, and you'll get this new fresh foliage. And this is it in summer, and it looks great. And the hostas, the slugs don't bother them either.
Oh, so it's a nice alternative to hosta, because hostas can get so decimated. We're probably as kind of, you know, spring rains as much as in England. So if you're not baiting for slugs for your hostas, they're just so holy. So this is a great one.
I know you have much bigger slugs than we do, of course, because everything in America has to be bigger, right?
Definitely.
But yeah, so that's one plant. The other one, let's just look at a couple behind here too. Perhaps the greatest breakthrough is a hardy geranium called Geranium Roseanne.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And you know, there's now 700 different varieties of hardy geranium in cultivation. So how does any gardener, how does any nurseryman sort of assess which is the best? But this one actually starts flowering in June and carries on until the frost.
Wow.
And it's so great because they're large flowers. They might get smaller in the summer if you get drought and heat conditions, but later on they'll start growing again in the fall. And then you've got that wonderful blue against the autumn colours, so it really is a great plant.
Well, I think that he's just touched on two of the plants that you're going to find in this book, and it is a wonderful book. We really recommend that you go to gardentime.tv and you can go to the Timber Press or the Blooms of Bressingham websites. Adrian, thank you so much, and thanks for visiting with us today.
Okay, my pleasure.